live.
Hello everyone.
Hey guys, sorry we're a minute late.
Oh, we've taken 400 photos and swapped everything around and tried
the
to
camera
sort
wouldn't
everything out.
turn over, so there was a photo
We're
of
trying to take a photo with that.
We're trying to be really clever, but it didn't work. But anyway, we're here now, and we're just, one person. Hello.
Hello, welcome. So this is for our patrons.
Well, Vagabond Live, attempt number 2.
Yeah, sorry about that first one. That was a debacle.
It was. We were so disappointed. Like, we got so hyped up about doing it, and then the internet cut out. So fingers crossed it doesn't do it today. But we have had fabulous internet lately.
That one lady cancelled her hair appointment, and she wasn't very
happy.
happy.
I'm very sorry about that. I can only imagine.
So, in order to maintain chronology, we're going to withhold our location.
Yeah.
Once again, secret squirrel.
Yeah.
But Elena and I are in Europe.
Yeah, as everyone already knows.
And we're happy.
No, we've been having an absolute ball here in Europe, where we may be sailing a little bit too quickly, because there is so much to see and it's such short distances between places, and we're just really excited and we love sailing in the new boat, so we've just been moving so quick.
We did too much.
We have done too much. Like,
we agreed as a team that we were like just going way too fast, and we all just went, look, slow down. I wanted to learn how to sail the boat like as quickly as possible.
And you did that.
Yeah. So we did 2,000 miles in very, very short order.
Yeah, we have done over 2,000 nautical miles since we got the new boat in what?
Not very long.
May.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah. Crazy
just because of
stuff.
the chronology stuff again.
Yeah.
So as a team, we've decided to definitely slow down, enjoy the places that we've been. Like, I mean, we love being on the boat, but it's good arriving at places and
hey, Connie.
enjoying that as well. Connie Woods, I see you all over the place.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get comfortable.
Thanks. Yes, we're glad that we're slowing down as well. It's important for a whole bunch of different reasons.
Everything seems like a blur. Like we have been moving so quickly, doesn't it? Like Riley's like, oh, do you remember this anchorage? And I've really got to pull from like deep at the back of my head to remember where it is. And I have a pretty good memory, so that's a sign we're going too quick.
Sup, kids? Grandpa's farm.
Hell yeah.
Ed in Perth. Deadster. Hi, Ed in Perth. Hey mate, how you going?
Cool. So we're going to try and answer some questions, and then we'll take some more from you guys after we answer these questions that have already been asked.
So, Elena and Riles, when are you ed'll like this? When are you coming back to Perth and the wonderful state of Western Australia?
Cheers, Tony. This is from Tony Pollard. Oh, well, my mum would love me in Western Australia every minute of the day, and we try and get back as much as we can, but you know, it is over the other side of the world and flights are pretty expensive. Like, we always try and go back every 6 months or something, but
that's one of our 3 destinations that we could go from the Gibraltar Strait. We could head north, south, or west.
Oh yeah, we're talking about the boat. Jeez, that's not for years away. Maybe I'm thinking like flying back to Western Australia, because we have never got the boat back there. But that definitely is like a goal of ours. We would love to sail back into Western Australia. How cool would that be?
I think we could leave. So my old man's got a place down at Venus Bay in South Australia, and that's the definite goal of mine, is to get the boat back there and camp out for a little while. But that could be the retirement plan in sort of 20 or 30 years. I don't know if we... But as I mentioned before, that's one of the places that we could go. We could go out of the Gibraltar Strait, head directly south, get into the... probably the screaming 60s, and pick up the Westerlies and take them on the traditional route up to Western Australia, making sure to avoid the... What are those islands where the people crashed? I read the book, Batavia.
Yeah.
And the islands are out from Geraldton.
Abrolhos Islands.
The Abrolhos.
Yeah.
Yes, making sure to avoid them, of course.
Yeah, Abrolhos Islands are very beautiful. So yeah, there's a few options. We've still, like, every single day we're brainstorming what it is that we're going to do. We have some pretty wild ideas.
What about the Arctic Circle, guys? What about heading up there? Bit cold? Anyone? Ed from Perth?
On the east coast of the States. Yes, that is definitely on our list as well. We would love to sail up the east coast.
Thanks, Gary. Gary says we're looking good.
Oh, thanks, Gaz.
I'll pull that comment out too.
We actually spent the whole day in the sun today. My eyes are all bloodshot. I look Very drained.
We've been burning around on a scooter.
Yeah. Back to the cold though. Okay, so we have never sailed in the cold really, apart from Europe a few years ago when it was winter and it like...
Elena, I had 5 blankets on.
You had 7, I counted. I have a video.
Really?
Yeah, 7 blankets.
This was back when we weren't filming, so we're doing it pretty tough. And
it was pretty cold, and like I am a bit of a wuss in the cold, but we have this wild idea about going up to the Arctic Circle. We've been talking about it for ages. Like, I think we've got the boat for it. We feel safe on it.
are we gonna?
We can.
We're gonna talk about this.
We can. This is the first we've told anyone about our Arctic
Yeah,
Circle idea.
I didn't know that we were gonna unfurl this.
Neither did I. It
so
kind
to
of
speak.
just came out.
Yeah, you're
But there's
quite
no
good
reason
at
why.
letting the cat out of the bag, aren't you, Elena?
I know. I'm really hot.
So yeah,
Coffee.
we've been talking about this for a very long time since we first started discussing the Outremer, and then in particular when we ran into Jimmy Cornell.
Yeah.
So it's one of 3 options. It's probably becoming more and more doable. The more we learn about it, the more we think about it.
Yeah, it was like our main question that we asked Jimmy when we saw him back in France a few months ago, and
When
he
I
said it's totally
headlocked him.
doable because of global warming. The ice cubes are now like further up than what they used to be, so we could potentially sail up the coast of Norway, go over to Spitsbergen, Iceland, and then head west over to Newfoundland and go visit the east coast of America that way.
So Jimmy's Romanian, so he just loved Elena, and he was calling her. Did this go in an episode? He was calling her Ilyana.
Yeah.
Ilyana.
Yeah, it
And
was so cute. I felt like we
you
were
loved
related.
him. Yeah, and he didn't realise, but he wouldn't have like we were recording here, and then we put the camera down and just filmed his entire conversation.
He's the cutest old man I've ever met, and he's
and
just,
a wealth of knowledge.
he just knows so much, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
But we really appreciated his advice, and so yeah, that is an option. We might be going to the Arctic Circle at the end of the year, or we might be taking the easy route across the Atlantic, or
to come and see a lot of you guys on the east coast of the US. That's where a lot of you guys hail from. So that's where we would do a few meetups and stuff like that.
Alrighty, so should we answer a question?
Nice one. Here's my question. I know your position is confidential to keep the vids not too confusing, so when do you switch on off the AIS? Nighttime, the AIS is generally on. So nighttime, if we're sailing, which we have been doing an insane amount of lately, the AIS is on. Daytime, generally off.
Greg, I haven't got my 23andMe results back yet. I don't know if we're
Oh, for heaven's sake, don't talk about that.
I'm not sure yet. When will there be another SLV Facebook party like the excellent one we had in France?
Well, this is a similar one, but this is a YouTube party,
What do you mean?
isn't it?
What?
Oh, I was thinking of a live event.
Okay, like a meet and great sort of thing.
That's the meet and greet.
Yeah.
Okay, we were just talking about one. If we do end up crossing the Atlantic, we would organise 2, 3, 4 in the US.
Some meet and greets?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, we've just been moving so quickly right now, and we don't know where we're going to be. We can't book anything in any places really, so we haven't done any more meet and greets unfortunately. But we loved it. It was so much fun meeting a bunch of people in New Zealand and France.
Yeah, it is awesome. It does take a lot out of you because each person you're talking to.
I wanted to meet everyone
Yeah.
twice over, but you only have so much time. Like you still cannot possibly get through all of the people. Which is unfortunate. I wish I could like have a clone
Probably.
for that time. That'd be great. Imagine like a few of you walking around. You'd learn so much and meet so many people.
Probably less people would be better. Is what we've learned for sure. But yeah. The more of them we.
Do you
Definitely.
find yourself being more slave to the computers with YouTube now? Well, okay, so here's the thing. So I made the mistake of catching up to real time a while back in New Zealand. If you guys remember those massive episodes that I made, the New Zealand ones, the really awesome ones. So I thought oh no, very bad connection. Come on, stay with us. I made the mistake of catching up to real time, and it was like we have been catching up, trying to make a lot of episodes to get in a bit in front again. So like we have been a slave to the computers like just recently, but I think from now on it's going to be a lot easier.
We're slowing down now. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't do stuff on the computers very often.
Riley's
I
lucky.
make sure that the boat is floating.
Yeah, which
and
is fair enough.
handle all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, after your Greyhound video, I wasn't having it. Nah, you tried, and thank you.
What about Build You, Elena?
Build You was fantastic.
Critically acclaimed.
So yeah, I guess we kind of have, but you know, I really do love what we are doing. So I can't really complain, but there are days when it's so hot and you've been on the laptop all day, and sometimes it can really take from the videos when you've been on the laptop like too much.
I bought him this.
He bought us a fan. Hallelujah. Best present ever. Oh man, I wish we could have that running right now, but I don't think the sound would be too good.
Connie Woods, it's okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Will there be another monohull versus catamaran?
Oh, nah, let's not do that one.
That upsets too many people.
I don't know. It's like it just depends what you want.
We
There's
like
no
catamarans.
yeah. Well, we love catamarans. That's why we got one. It's if you want to compare them, it really just depends what you as an individual like. Like, do you like being heeled over? Like, we don't like being heeled over, especially me. I couldn't work when we were heeled over.
It was difficult to be working whilst we were sailing.
And if we want to continue to run a business on the ocean, like I was finding I couldn't work a lot of the time at sea. Like most times when we went for a crossing over a week, I couldn't touch the laptop. I couldn't do anything. So now when you get to land, when you should be enjoying land, now you've got to work a lot. So on the Cat, we've been able to do bits and pieces, you know, like in a day, half the day we'll be having fun filming and the rest we're editing, or, you know, it could be a whole day of just editing, or it could be a whole day of just fun, but we have that option kind of thing.
I just got lost then. Did you answer that?
Oh,
there was a really nice question that came up.
Ask it again.
No. I've got it. I
Okay.
just wasn't listening to what you were saying right at the end there.
Okay.
So I've got the question, which I can ask.
Go. Yeah, I think I finished my answer.
Guy said, you seem to get a lot of help on the old boat from people, just in general. Say the other cruisers helping you out and other people along the way, and is that common? Now, that's a great question. The sailing community is insanely helpful. It is ridiculous, especially as a young bloke with no idea, walking along scratching your head like on a marina quay somewhere holding, you know, a broken something. Always some old dude will be like, what have you got there? Like, give us a look at that. And they call you over, and they have fixed that problem a dozen times. The really old salty dudes. And
not even that, even the newbies, they're more than happy to help you out, give it a shot.
Yeah, but you go to the old ones that have done it a dozen times.
Yeah, well, you take what you can get in a situation like that, don't you?
If you're if you're scrapping, but it's just incredible how much because everyone's in the same boat. Like, everyone has experienced the dramas. Everyone is trying to fix something somewhere, or has done it before, or knows a quicker, better way to get something flown in and stuff like that. So in the Pacific, that became really important. And even just like, hey mate, I reckon you're wrapped around a bit of coral or something there. Can you spin off it, because then we'll be in this anchorage, it's a bit tight, and I reckon we might bump in the night. And you're like, yep, no worries, go and have a look at it. And you do that for other people as well. It
is like no community. Like, for those of you who aren't cruisers, like you'll be surprised when you jump on your own boat and you start sailing around. Like, everyone is so outgoing, and you kind of have to be on the water. Like, where else in the world, if you think about it, if you move to a new neighborhood, like, would you be having dinner with both of your neighbors on that night? Like, that's what sailing is like. Like, you rock up to an anchorage, and usually that night someone's already invited you over for dinner, someone's asked you for sundowners on their boat. It is just a very welcoming, friendly community, and we love it. Like, absolutely love it. It's
I owe these people a lot. The old dudes that have helped me out along the way. I'd like to be able to help. We went and helped Oki a very little bit.
We help where we can.
But yeah, we definitely, I owe a lot of hours to a lot of old helpful dudes, which I will reciprocate when the time comes.
Yeah. Start going a bit grey. Alright, should we answer another question?
Yeah. I think the cruising community. I was going to say one more thing. It's less tight knit in Europe than it is in other places, especially the Pacific.
Okay.
Because there's just so many people here. The anchorages can get quite packed, and when that happens, there's less of a sense of community. But certainly in the Pacific, and in more far off locations, or if you are the only two in an anchorage, then you're gonna definitely end up hanging out
in an instant.
Borrowing sugar and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect time for breakfast and a chat. First question, Riley, how much money did you have saved up when you bought La Vaga, and how many years did it take you to save up all of that? Okay. I had the boat cost $100,000, and I reckon I saved up $100,000 on top of that to cover the 3 years that I thought it would take me to get home. I chewed through that very, very quickly, and Elena and I had to go home and work.
In a year, basically all that money was gone because I don't think Riley was planning on crossing an ocean in that particular year, so we needed to get all of these things installed that we had no idea about. We had to sort out the power situation. There was wind generator installs, there was water maker installs,
Water maker, not handheld generator, but the little Honda,
the little Jenny. We had to get a few things done, and that was very expensive, but we were just also surprised at how expensive it was in general. And because we aren't very good at researching, sometimes we were, for example, a big mistake
when
of
we
ours.
had the rudder.
Oh yeah, we had to reinforce the rudder. That cost a lot because we had to enforce that twice. But we weren't very good at researching, so sometimes we would sail all day to get to a cheap marina that someone had mentioned, but really we rock up at the wrong marina, or it's not cheap, and then we end up having to pay hundreds and hundreds of euro per night, and the Mediterranean is known for that. So
there was a 200 euro marina not that long ago.
Yeah.
Which we didn't go to.
Yeah.
Or was that on an episode the other day?
I can't remember.
Okay.
But we ran out of money very quickly.
And that took me 8 years to save up. So working offshore.
Boating is really just fixing things in unusual places, Greg, isn't it? Yeah.
Greg, you know what you're on about.
That's so true.
Okay. How did you deal with the anticipation of saving up to be able to buy the boat and sail off? Well, for me, it was pretty last minute because I didn't know how to sail at all. So, I knew what my friends and family were going to say. They were going to say, "That's crazy. And then it was going to probably even be a little bit harsher than that because they were probably worried about my safety. So, at the last minute, I sort of told everyone, and also it was a bit of I wouldn't say it was a last minute decision, but I didn't really let myself believe it.
You looked for a boat for a long time. You went to Thailand and looked for one.
Yeah. I lived in Thailand for 6 months, and I pulled the wrong boat out of the water, and this old bloke pulled me aside and said, "Put that back down."
What are you doing with that?
The survey dude. So he saved me a fair bit of hassle.
Yeah.
I blocked it out of my mind for a long time, and I didn't really tell anyone because I don't want it to be one of those people that talks about stuff. And that was a particularly big maneuver for me to be pulling at that stage.
So you bought the boat, and then you told everyone that you bought the boat. And what were some of the responses that you got from your friends and family?
So, two of my best mates and my dad. One said, "Oh, so you're going to be alone forever then?" One said, he swore, and Dad goes, "Why would you want to go and do a thing like that?"
Yeah.
And then
and Dad's been on the boat so many times.
Yeah,
now.
Sorry to drop you in there, Dad, but he's retired now and he's trying to get a gig on board.
Yeah.
Reckons he's pretty handy with a camera.
Yeah, wants to move on board and start filming.
What's Daniel's job?
Yeah. Okay, should we answer another question? Alright, should we take some from the audience?
Ken wants to know if we can give him a call because it'll
Great.
be early morning Victoria, and he wants us to wake him up.
When we first joined Patreon, did you think it was ever going to be as big? The question just disappeared, but did we think it was going to be how it is now? Absolutely not. And if people weren't suggesting it in the comments of our YouTube channel, we would have never figured out there was such a thing online. Like, we didn't even really know what crowdfunding was.
Yes.
What is this?
Oh, sorry to interrupt. Gary said, look, last time I'll bother you, but if that's a top hat, can we see a lady wearing it, please? And what were you saying?
Got it in Amsterdam.
What were you saying?
I was saying, did we ever think Patreon was going to be as awesome as it is? And no, we really had no idea. And at first I was like, because, you know, I had to drag Riley kicking and screaming to put the first YouTube video up. He really didn't want to be on the internet. And I tried for like, it's slipping, it's so big. I tried for like a month or so. I was like, Riley, come on, like, maybe, you know, maybe something good will come of this. Like, I think maybe we can inspire some other young people to do the same. Like, you know, we don't have a clue. I'm sure there's lots of other people that like need a bit of encouragement to do the same sort of thing. And, you know, after a month I was like, yeah, cool. Like, should we do this, Riley? And I kept, you know, and he was like, all right, fine. And then there was comments of people like, hey, how can we support what it is that you're doing? Want to see the journey continue? And they suggested Patreon, and I did have a look at the website, but it was kind of one of those things that I just looked at and brushed it off. I forgot about it quite immediately, and then more and more comments started popping up saying join Patreon. I was like, Riley, there's a crowdfunding site you can join, and people like will pay you per video. And I was like, oh, I don't really like the sound of that. Like, I don't want to take money, and yeah.
I didn't really feel comfortable with the whole thing.
Totally.
I was sort of like, well, what I was saying was, I can go back to work.
But I was like, if there's a way that we can continue, like, I love making these videos. I want to keep sailing. I don't want to go back and work in a restaurant or a bar. Like, I want to keep doing this. Like, I loved it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that happened, and quickly, yeah.
And as Elena, you know, started pouring the hours in, and you know, people were gaining more and more.
Yeah. It took a while for it to become a job. Like I think Riley's talked about it before. Do you want the hot top hat? I'm really hot.
But it is a job, but it's more a way of life.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. It was like, there's no way we could be doing what we're doing without Patreon. It was really, especially when we ran out of money and we had to go back to Australia. I don't know if everyone remembers, but we had to go back to Australia, and Riley worked on a barge on the Castorone.
On the Castorone.
He was lucky to have gotten a job because we were back in Perth in the winter.
Pulled a few strings.
We had to leave La Vagabond in Grenada, and we were really sad. We didn't know if we could get back to La Vagabond after the hurricane season, and I was working frantically, working with our pal Bob, trying to build a website, trying to make some merch, making a recipe book, like trying to do stuff like so that maybe if we came back to the boat, it could last. And that's when everyone was like, I think everyone saw the situation we were in, and they were like, you guys are going back to the boat. Like, let's do this. Let's get you back to the boat. We're going to pay you for the movies, and we want to see it continue. So we are very grateful for every single one of you, and I don't know if we say it enough, but like, seriously, thank you all so much. I'm getting a little bit emotional.
How do you say thank you for something like that?
Oh, well, here's something exciting. We've actually, so we've got a few videos that are uploaded ready for you guys to see, but we are inviting 10 patrons on board over the next 10 weeks. So, yeah, I hope that we can meet a bunch of you.
These guys would have seen the first one where we...
No?
No?
It's not up yet.
But
it's the next episode.
Noelle wrote, and I'm excited.
I'm not sure.
In the comments.
No, I don't think so, but...
Noelle?
Nah, not yet.
Okay, alright, well...
It's very soon.
Yeah.
Very soon. Yeah, that's going to be...
Yes, we saw our invite.
Okay.
Thanks,
What am
Mike. Yeah, I
talking
thought
about?
so, because I saw a few comments.
Okay.
There
Cool.
you go. I'm up on the comments. I read every single comment.
He does. I ban myself from comments. I'm not allowed to read them.
Yeah.
Because I'm a girl, you know, I can get a bit emotional. I do.
Especially because you're pouring your heart and soul into the movies as well.
Riley reads me the positive comments, and you know, I get a kick out of that. But for me, if I'm like, you know how YouTube is, if I'm reading through all the comments, I usually go away from the videos feeling pretty terrible about myself, feeling terrible about the movies. I start questioning life. Like, there are some really nasty comments out there, unfortunately. But there's also some really good ones. So Riley's been
The
Elena,
constructive
like, listen to
criticism
this and
we'll read.
totally, yeah. But there's also some very weird comments as well. Riley, will you ever shave the moustache?
Unlikely, Josh. I don't
saw,
know. I cut
what?
my hair.
Speaking of comments, I saw a comment the other day, and someone was like, "Riley, is that moustache a joke? Like, are they doing this for a joke? Like, they couldn't believe that you actually rock that moustache."
New subscriber, no idea about anything.
Oh, okay.
You know you're a success once you get the nasty comments. Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's a nice way of looking at it.
Apparently, there's no.
Thanks, Grandpa's farm.
There's no. What is that saying? It's like there's no such thing as bad publicity or something.
I don't know.
But there totally is.
Not a bet you lost then. No, Andrea.
Andrea.
Yeah. No, mate, not a bet I lost. It's more like a family heirloom, really.
He did get a haircut yesterday. It was so funny. Like, because, you know, in foreign countries, I don't know if you guys have ever tried to get your hair cut in foreign countries, but every time I do, it always ends up just a surprise. But Riley got his hair cut yesterday, and she was like, it's very dry. So she put, like, heaps of moisture stuff in there and cut this little bob and brushed the hell out of it, and he walked out there like a frisbee. He's like, I look like a 12-year-old boy, but it's just starting to get its curl back.
I got a shocker when I was younger, travelling in, I think, Serbia, and I came out with what was quite a trendy Serbian haircut at the time, which wouldn't fly in Australia.
Paul,
I was getting hammered from.
How do you stay fit on the boat? Okay, so Riley does a lot of weight. Well, we're lucky on this boat because we can actually, it's more stable, so we can do more exercises than what we could on the old boat.
Swim, free dive, hoist the mainsail.
Every day is something different. We just try and do something that's active. Like this morning I went for a run because Riley set his alarm for 6 a.m. and I was really annoyed, and he was like,
early bird catches the worm.
he set his alarm for 6 because we planned to go and explore the island, and I'm like, why did you set your alarm for 6? And he's like, so we can sleep in till 8. And I'm like, but I can't sleep in anymore. And he's like, well, maybe you should go for a run. I'm like, fine. So I went for a run, but it was really awesome.
That coffee's certainly kicking in, Alana.
Oh, really? I'm having a great time.
We're starting to relax. We're starting to relax.
Stay fit on the boat.
Stay fit on the boat.
So Riley does a lot of weights, and he has a stretchy. What's that thing called?
Well, I've got the thing that I hook onto the spinnaker halyard, which is like a TRX sort of thing, and you just do your own body weight sort of stuff. Push ups, sit ups, swimming, free diving, and pulling ropes. Like, no joke, sailing is if you do it for 10 hours a day and you do 3 or 4 sail changes,
he's exhausted.
Like try pulling in a spinnaker one day on the fella.
Yeah, even cranking it in, like it definitely Riley does most of it, 90% of it.
That's not true, Alana.
I help out where I can. And I love going running, so running is my thing.
And you dock the boat.
And
you drive whilst I'm hoisting the main.
I know, I do lots.
You do a lot.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's alright.
Just whatever we can, really. Whatever we can, whenever we can.
You used to do a bit of yoga.
Yeah, that's not really like hard on your heart though. I like to get sweating. I like to really get moving, and that for me is running.
Some friends of ours have got a F45 in Adelaide, and they're going to send us a program. We're going to launch into that, aren't we?
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's all just stuff like, and it's a lot easier on here because it's a big area, it's a big space. You can actually do some stuff.
Yeah, sometimes Riley and I get up on the front and we have a trampoline each and we're doing like burpees and stuff. But you can always see people on other boats watching us, like, and I feel a bit embarrassed. Like, you know,
That's why you got to set your alarm for 6 alone.
We're one of those so no one can see us. We're one of those couple that exercise together. We're at the same gym. Oh, we have another question.
Okay, so we use Patreon to...
You have to read out the question or no one's going to know what the question was.
Oh, sorry. So the question was, you guys use Patreon?
Yeah.
I always mispronounce that and I get hammered.
We're Australian. If you haven't noticed, we pronounce everything wrong.
As a source of income, what do other people use as sources of income? So a lot of people are retired, as you suggested in that comment there. A lot of people are retired, and then you're going to have the odd people that have had an incredibly successful business at some stage, and they've jumped out, but they're generally jumping back in.
Yeah, it's sort of like a 6-month sailing, 6 months back home running the business.
Yeah, or a 2-year hiatus.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of the younger Outremer families are doing.
Yeah.
They'll sort of have a break and then go back to their...
And you can rent out
their
your boat
business.
in the meantime. People will hire your boat and you make a bit of money.
There's those people that we met on the...
It really is a
Oyster.
mix. It's such a mix. Like, hearing... But I would say mostly people have saved up their whole lives and they've retired and this is life.
That's owners, but like if you're looking to get on board, you can like... Jack was working for Yacht Week. You can get time for skipper. You can like it's better going on other people's boats.
Absolutely, the cheapest way to sail is on someone else's boat. You don't have to pay for repairs.
Find a crew or crew finder or whatever it is. Walk up and down a dock, offer help. You can.
We've met so many young people that have just been sailing around the world on other people's boats, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
And easily done.
We met just crewing on different boats, and you get a good name for yourself if you work hard, and then like if you're because generally you're gonna want to hop boats at some stage because
hot boats.
Like jump off and jump on.
Yeah,
and if you're working hard,
new boats. Yeah.
What are some other good ways
of sailing around the world?
I reckon making an app. I'm just giving like financial advice now.
Yeah, but you don't want to blow all your money on an app that
super
doesn't
fund.
work.
Investing in a quality area that's undergoing gentrification.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It's a very broad mix. There's some very interesting stories when you ask the crew of the different like super yachts, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's the owner of Cirque du Soleil," or he's
I'm always
related
so
to Donald
interested
Trump.
when I see these big super yachts, and I'm just like, wow, what have you done? You've succeeded at something. I congratulate you. Like, there's just it's good to see.
And then next door, there's a remember that single-handed sailor that he didn't have to make much money because all he was doing was eating canned chicken. He saved up, bought his boat, and he'd just been living off canned chicken for like...
You can do it very, very cheaply.
Remember in Tonga, Alana?
Yeah.
And then he kept saying, I'm going to go sail down to Patagonia, but he'd never leave.
Yeah. There's a lot of those sailors too. We met one sailor in Cape Verde, and it was very obvious, like, he got down there and he'd been planning across the Atlantic for like 6 years, and he just got stuck in Cape Verde, and he was like, he was sick at the time, he was sick, like, we're like, crossing the season.
You made him dinner.
Crossing this season? I did make him dinner. Yeah, they've always got a good story to tell you. Okay, let's take another question.
30 minutes we've been running for.
Have we been talking too quickly?
How is this whole thing going?
It's strange, like I feel like there's actually people here. Like, I can't see you guys, but I feel like I love this communication.
Antoine, free diving. I did a course in Indonesia, which free diving, I'm not great with, like, I'm not big on courses and stuff like that in general, but free diving, it's amazing.
Hell yeah.
And it's helped us immeasurably. Sorry, I've just got the hiccups. We're just for having fun, and then also you don't need dive tanks for you to fit all your scuba dive gear in. On this boat we could probably fit them, but they're heavy and cumbersome, and
it's too hot to be gearing up with all that stuff. Free diving is such a refreshing thing. Like, you are free. That's where it gets the name from. It's a beautiful thing.
I really, really love it. There's something about mastering your body's physiological response to lack of oxygen or excess CO2 that is
Absolutely. It's meditation. It totally is. When you're down there, like, you have a clear mind and you're only focused on what you're doing. But I would recommend doing a course. I think that was back to more towards the question. It was like, did we do a course? Like, would we recommend doing one? And yes, because it gives you that confidence to go down.
When you're kicking down and your body is going like, I want to go up, and you go, hang on a minute. You've still got realistically another 3 minutes down here before you need to go up, and you can suppress that urge. Like, the first time you do that, you're like, yes. Nailed it.
But you need someone who's going down with you first, I think. Like,
it
can be a bit daunting.
You have to do a course.
Yeah, I recommend doing a course. I don't think they're that expensive, and once you've done it, you can take that practice with you, and you can, as long as you're a little buddy.
Free dive with a buddy.
Free dive with a buddy, always. And that's the most fun too.
Yeah.
Greg, is there a time we've had that we argue, we can't escape each other on the boat. Yeah, it's really funny.
Greg, come on,
Of
mate.
course, we are only human.
Elena, this is live. I will remind you.
That's fine. Probably not. No, I'm just kidding. When we do argue, it's usually something boat related. Like, as a lot of you guys can imagine, sailing can be very stressful, especially like when you're docking the boat in, you know, big winds or whatever. Like, there can be a lot of yelling. Sometimes, you know, I might not like that. But, you know, it usually is traced back to the boat. So afterwards, the arguments never last long.
You don't like it when you yell at me?
Huh? Remember, we are live. But on the old boat, the furthest place we could get away from each other, and we only had to use this particular tactic like a few times, but it used to be one person would be in the forward cabin in our room, and then the other person would be right above, like on the bow. So like that was the furthest distance one had to walk to get to the other person.
Yeah.
But really, like if I wanted to, and usually I would pop my head up out of the hatch and be like, "Raz," and you know, we'd be friends. But that was the furthest away we could get from each other.
I think that was on the Atlantic crossing, and there truly is nowhere to go there.
Well, you quickly have to like figure out a lot of stuff in your relationship if you want to keep sailing together. Like, you got to be honest with each other. Like, you don't have time for arguments because you are in such close quarters.
I think like we've definitely done the hard yards. Like you 1 year on a boat would be like 10 years on land.
Yeah,
So
I feel like I've known Riley for a very, very long time. And I love you more and more each day, Pumpkin.
Thank you, Pants.
Yeah. Question.
Getting a bit embarrassed now.
Dame.
Route planning.
No, we've already talked about route planning. Mike.
Route planning.
I
get to give her a couple of glasses of wine, and
now you're digging yourself a hole.
no. So we check the weather, figure out how long of a distance it is, and then because you want to arrive, you don't want to arrive at night time. So it's all about distance, and then like trying to predict how long it's going to take you to get there. I've rattled you, haven't I, Pants?
No.
Adam Freedive is a good channel. Yes, he is. He diving on one breath, Australian record holder. Have a look. Yeah, I've spoken to him on Facebook.
Lincoln,
He's a
can
legend.
you tell us more about your neck incident, Riles?
I
wonder if you can see the scars.
don't
It's
know.
pretty crazy.
Should that takes about 20 minutes, mate. I don't know if we.
It's a very, very long story, but a very interesting one. I've only heard Riley tell it a few times.
How about we discuss that over a beer one day, mate?
Yeah.
Individually with each of you when you come on board.
Yeah. Avoiding my wedding questions, Greg. I've seen them, Greg, don't you, mate?
How far out do people plan their visits, and how long do people usually stay? So 4 days is a really good time to stay on board, and we do that for my mum and dad and like friends and stuff like that. We found that that's the perfect amount of time, unless you know we're doing a crossing or there's some specific reason. But if we've called someone's name out of a hat, we'll organise generally for at least 3 months, and then we're like, if you can't make it in that time, then we might need to, you know, we want to try and make that opportunity available for the next person.
Yeah.
And yeah,
But,
generally 4 days, like in summer in the Mediterranean, and then we have bent over backwards a few times to make things happen. And
4 days is a really good amount of time. People are usually so satisfied with 4 days of sailing. It can feel like 2 weeks. Honestly, the days just last so long, and everyone is really stoked.
And you get a bit of a gauge as to like how much experience the person has or doesn't have. Like, do they want to do a crossing? Would they prefer to learn to freedive, or do they like fishing? Do they want to get drunk at a restaurant? Like, there's so many different people that want to do so many different things, and generally it's combining a lot of those different things. But some people are like, no, like I want to learn to sail. Like, take me out there and hammer me.
Yeah. Some people are, I just want to drink. Just take me from bar to bar to bar. Yeah. Okay, well, should we wrap this up?
I think so.
Cool.
and it's one name in the hat for each person. So, yeah, it's one name in the hat. So if you put in $2, your name is in the hat twice. If you put in $3, your name is in the hat 3 times, and we pull a name out.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck, everyone.
Alrighty, thank you all for joining. 57 of you. Thank you all so much. Cool. Stay tuned. Let's do it again. How good was the connection? Yeah.
Yes. My goodness, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thoughts on adding Google Earth to your videos? Scott, you asked that before. How would we do that?
Adding what?
Google Earth to the video.
We can do that.
Can we?
I
Can you
think
send
so.
us an email on how to do that?
Yeah.
We're gonna head off. Thank you all so much for. We want to like try and keep doing this and
yeah.
you know, just having a chat, seeing what's up.
Honestly, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I think that we'll get better at it. Well, I might.
You were fine. Alright, cool. Bye everyone.
See you guys.
Until next time.